Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. I am Lori-Lynn and this is the High Priestess Oracle. I also go by the business name on Facebook as Spirit Within Us. And I channel messages. I use oracle cards and tarot decks to help me to define messages and authenticate what I've said. So I channel, I receive messages from Spirit. The cards just help me along that way. And I am actually feel very blessed and honored to be able to do what I do, that Spirit has guided me to do this. And so today I've decided to do a relationship reading, and this could be a relationship of any kind. I don't know what Spirit, I don't pre-look at cards, I don't pre-pick them out. What I do is I pre-pick out my stones and I maybe lay 3 cards down, but I get the messages as they come in. I don't know how to do it any other way, and that's not what Spirit wants me to do. So I have 3 piles here. The first pile is this gray. These are all natural stones that I have found along the way, and when I see them I just pick them up. And I'm really sad that this one did break, but it reminds me of an arrowhead, and it feels really good in the hand. It's almost like one of those calming stones, and it does bring calming. And as a matter of fact, all of these 3 stones do. The second stone is the wood stone, as that's what I call it. It's because it looks like driftwood. And what I see in this stone is actually Mother Mary or Mother Teresa holding a baby. And it's just an incredibly gorgeous stone. And the third stone, I guess they're called rocks, but the third stone is, I say a lot of times that I can find a heart in anything. I collect hearts. So this to me is a yellow heart. So those are the 3 piles. So if you need to pause and think about which pile you want, that'd be great. I'll let you know the messages from the archangels that goes with those while you're trying to choose. So pile 1 comes, the card of its Archangel Haniel and its moon cycles. And her message is, notice how the moon affects your energy and manifestations, and capitalize upon these cycles. So with this card, it's right here, Haniel is very, very gentle and calming, and she just wants to guide. And she's always there to remind you to say, hey, look at where you're at and acknowledge that. And when you can acknowledge where you are and align that with the moon cycles, it can help you to deal with your energy and your emotions better. So pile number 2, the card is Spiritual Understanding. And this is, I do believe, Archangel Raziel. And he helps to, I'm going to say, align our energies so that we create this balanced energy within us, that we have this flow of perfectly aligned, symmetrical, and aligned with the divine spirit. And so understanding messages when they come along, understanding different symbols that we may see, and that's what Archangel Raziel, he helps you to just to find a better understanding and clarity. So pile number 3, and this is the card of a healthy lifestyle. So perhaps that's something that really is important to you, is to really at this time is to make sure that you're balancing a healthy diet with exercise and sleep, because you want to stay in optimal health. And that may go for both of you. It's Archangel Raphael, and there's the card of the healthy lifestyle. So maybe it's just taking a look at your lifestyle. So that's pile 3 and pile 2. And now I'm going to start with pile number 1. And so where are you in your love connection? And so I'm going to pull first on the side of the feminine side, And it's interesting because neither side has to be female or male. It just, one side tends to be more feminine, the other side more masculine. And it's very interesting because the last time I picked up this dice and I rolled it, so I rolled it and the W came out, and that's women, and upside down it's men. I don't know, things that I find interesting. Okay, so what is on the masculine side right now, and that's where we're going to go first. And so what is their lesson at this time? And this is really about them understanding their body. That really tells me at this point that something that they are experiencing are these deep emotions that are, I believe, confusing them in some matter. They really don't know how to deal with it. So the first card of the universal lesson that comes up is body wisdom. So I believe that they are going through this ideal that they have probably for a long time really tried to push a lot of feelings away. And maybe when they met you, maybe when you came along, and the card that represents you is the Spirit of Water, which is the Queen of Cups. So this person is very, very much in love with you, very much wants to be with you, but doesn't know how to do it, because all of these feelings are just so, they're actually natural feelings, but for this person, they feel very unnatural. And so they're, trying to weave themselves away from the relationship rather than towards. But in the same respect, they're slowly learning to understand what's going on. And so that card is the way of the fox, and the fox can be cunning and can be, I'm not saying deceptive, but what they do is they work within the environment. And so the environment really right now is that environment within themselves, and it just seems so I just keep thinking scary to them. And so they back away rather than going towards. They just don't want to deal with it. Yet they're recognizing now that they do need to, because they're being asked to look at their body and to understand their feelings. And the card on the opposite side of that is the wisdom of the snake. And the snake is totally about transformation. It's about shedding that skin, shedding that fear. So for this person, they really do need to shed the fear that's within them so that they can love you the way that they want to. And so the two messages that come up on their side is, oh my gosh, the card messages come in. This person's very loyal, very, very loyal. So that could almost say that one of the factors that is happening within them is that they're struggling with a loyalty. And I don't know if it's a loyalty to somebody else, but it's being, this is a very loyal person, and it's what they know, it's what they understand. And they're very unconditional. So again, that might be part of the block, is that, you know what, they really know that they need to get out of their situation that's holding them back because of those feelings that they're feeling with, but they have a loyalty to something else. I'm not saying they're in another relationship, I'm not saying that at all, but there is a loyalty that something has started, and they feel that what they're doing is questioning their loyalty, questioning they didn't prior to this, but because of this way of the fox, they are starting to question their loyalty and understand that their first loyalty is to themselves, and they've actually really pushed that away. And so they're recognizing a new loyalty, a loyalty to what their heart's desire is, to better understand those feelings and to move towards that rather than pushing it away or finding, ways out of it. Let's say you feel, interestingly, because Spirit just said that's why a lot of people get addicted to certain things, whether to smoking or drugs or to alcohol, but they try to push it away. Now, that what this person's doing at this time, I do believe, is trying to push away from that. They're trying to understand themselves better so that they're not relying on anything. But that actually does also puts them through a whole different state. I mean, they're going through these feelings, and that's why this moon cycle is so important, is they're going through different stages and trying to understand those different stages as they transform, because the next card message is the birth, the rebirth. And so they have work to do. They have just time to spend within themselves, getting to know themselves basically all over again, getting to know themselves in a way that they never thought possible. And why they never thought possible, I have no idea, but for some reason love just wasn't on their agenda. So that would lead me to say there would have been a mother or a parental figure that that they really feel, I'm going to say, attached to, that they do owe some sort of loyalty to. And it's not unhealthy, but it's not what they want, and they're realizing that right now. Okay, so I hope that clarified a little bit about them at this point. Okay, so your side, the energy, is that this person certainly is extremely sociable. That's where they want to be. There's also a calmness about them that you provide to them. This would represent them, and it's the warrior of fire. So that's someone that, that Spirit just said that they are actually stuck in action. So this is about you, and so that's how you are feeling, that they are stuck. Yet together, the card that is representing yourself is the Spirit of the Earth. And so for them, what they believe is that you bring them a calmness, a quiet, just that feeling of home. And so don't stop being who you are or changing what you are, because that's what most attracts them to you, is that you are very, I'm going to say, almost unassuming, or you're very gentle and kind. That's your nature, and that is really so much of what draws them towards you. Okay, the lesson at this time is the card of the paradigm shift. And so this really shows walking away from, there's been a past here for you that you've had to transition through. And it was, I'm going to say it was dark, but that just means there was things that are in your past that you've had to deal with. You've had to work through, and you've had to really turn your back on it, turn away from. And once you did that, it was like this brightness and this world that you had forgotten existed is there waiting for you. So the changes that you've gone through and the changes that you made were really important. So you might have been, prior to this, been on the side that has carried around more anger, or carried on some anger, but carried on things from the past. And you've decided to walk away and now move towards this gentler state, this spirit of the earth, the person that's very grounded and can provide grounding to your partner or your partner to be. Okay, so for you, one of the things that goes on, and it's the wisdom of the horse, and there's so much beauty within this card. Yet the other side of the card of it is the horse is about, you can tame the horse or allow the horse to be free. For both yourself, you're tameable, yet you're untamable. Interesting, but you're also very faithful. You're really stepping into your own power at this time, but that becomes almost like a push and pull within yourself, because you know that you want to be free and you just want to be the powerful individual that you are. But sometimes that scares us, so you step back. So almost within this relationship, you'll move forward, then you push back, then you move forward, then you push back. And I think that might become a little frustrating for yourself. Again, going with the moon cycles, become very aware. Become very aware of the moon cycles and adjust yourself. And if you become mindful and conscious of that, then you can say, hey, look, I know I'm in a, not in the best place. So speak out, reach out, touch out. Oh, wow. Okay. So on this side is the wisdom of the owl. So they do see you as this calm, gentle, incredible person that has done a lot of work to transform. And I think in some ways they've mimicked that. They might be a little bit envious because you are, I'm going to say, ahead of them, but there is no ahead because it isn't a competition. And the wisdom of the owl is so much about, I don't know if you've, again, owls are very unassuming. You can hear them, but sometimes you really have to listen to find out where they are. They're stealth, they're elegant, they're beautiful. To me, they're just a spectacular bird. Their wingspan is huge, absolutely. And if you've ever had one fly over you, it takes your breath away. So in the light of those aspects is that this person really, you take their breath away. You literally take their breath away. And we went back to the fact that, how they're feeling and trying to deal with things. They are almost in a state of confusion because they don't understand quite how to deal with it, because these feelings are so powerful. So 2 messages for you. And the first one is focus. Focus, 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 focus. So when that card comes up, is focusing on what's important. Focus on where you're going, not where you've been, but where you're going. And focus on all the beauty that surrounds you. Ground yourself. Really just be who you are. Stay present and reminding yourself to be you. The second card that comes up is the card of the cow. And so that's nourishment, abundance, asking and receiving. Cow is all about prosperity. It's about abundance. And it's about, so focusing on, and it doesn't mean you need to just focus on one thing. Life is about balance, finding the balance of those energies. And so it's not just one, but it's like one leads to the next. So know what your focus are, know what your intentions are, where you want to go. Get a vision board and focus on what's on that vision board, not just on one, but on several things. And again, what I'm just picked up was the fact that Spirit just said, in a roundabout way, is remind yourself that what's most important is your health and the love within yourself, And know that when you're in that space, that the mind, body, spirit, everything starts moving in one circle, in a space of continuity, and so it's like everything starts to go into place, come into place, and so that you're continually keeping focused on what's important in this moment and staying present. So for the romance angels, let's find out where they're at. The first card comes up is past life relationship. So I do believe that this relationship is divinely guided, that you have made a commitment to one another to be together. And when you first saw each other, and I think I said this, but there's this huge attraction and passion that they have for you because they know you. And so there's part of that. They never thought, I'm not even sure why they did not think that love was ever going to come their way or be a part of their life, but they really didn't. So they must have really asked for that memory to fade when they came into this lifetime, because it seems that it shocked them, yet they knew because they're very drawn to you. Interesting. And the next card, and this is the card in the challenge position, it's the card of express your love. And I know that you've probably expressed your love, and I believe that they want to express their love. They really do, but it's much more difficult because of this loyalty that they're trying, working through to get to the other side of. And, they almost put up these blocks. And it's just really what I can say is that you put this almost like dart in their life where they thought everything was going along great, when they realized all of a sudden upon meeting you for the first time, it was like, oh no, what's going on? And they tried so hard, did everything they could to not commit. But now they're trying everything they can to clear their space so that they can express their love. Wow. Okay. And the final card in this Romance Angels is true love. So, wow, this is true love. Remember that. This is a romance of a lifetime, and that's what you actually came down in this lifetime. I like the word suspect, and that just means that I'm being nudged with the message of this was meant to be. This was very much planned in your, prior, that our lives are planned prior to coming down, and that was part of their journey. I think in past lifetimes there were issues that when you came into this lifetime, they need to heal so much. It's like they came in with more karma than they expected, but somehow they learned to be able, the skill to be able to turn themselves off. It's like turning their feelings off. Something happened in their lifetime when they were young that really did it. I actually get this, like quite young, this just click and a turn off of emotions, and they started, they backed away from their emotions, and that was okay with them, because if they didn't feel, that felt better than feeling. Gosh, I hope that makes sense. And then they met you, and everything changed. And they can't let that go, and they can't not let that go. And so they're trying to work towards it. And the first card from the Hermit Tarot is, I am in so much pain. And I truly believe this because of what they know. And this person's far more spiritual than they are willing to admit, or willing to acknowledge that they know. They may not have even been brought up in any kind of situation that, or a family that was spiritual, a family that that guided them. It's very interesting. I think that there was a female figure that was really shut down, shut off, that shut them out. And I believe that's part of what angers them so much. And they're moving past that. They're working through that. So they do need you to know that they are in so much pain. And it wasn't brought upon by you, but yet it was brought forth when they started realizing within their life that they wanted something different than what they were challenged with. And the next card is Think Before You Act. And that's being mindful. And that's going with the card of Express Your Love. And really, I think think before you act, I believe that they're spending far too much time in their head. So when they go to take action, it's that whole feeling of fear. So when I talk about gut and intuition, their gut, that fear just holds them back, and the thought processes in their head just continues to go and go and go, and they have to work through it. And it just takes so much effort. So if you put something out to them, they may not respond right away. It's very likely they don't respond in honesty, but they are working towards that. You have to know that. Awesome. So the final card from the Hermit Tarot message is, happiness is my priority. So they have changed. They've made adjustments, and they're looking towards the light. They're seeing the light that was never there before. And wow, okay, it wasn't going to do that, but I did because I've seen this twice. They're learning to be more selfish. It's not something that's they're accustomed to. It's not something that they would even want to admit. It for them is part of who they are. But they're learning that it's okay to be more selfish because they haven't been selfish at all. And so a couple more messages that come in this biggest deck in the entire world. Okay, this is the card of passion. And so there's so much passion within this relationship. There's so much love within this relationship. And we have to find out where it's going towards. I think I need to use the tarot, but let me get one more. Okay, it's just not coming to me. I'm sorry. So I'm going to pick up some tarot cards because I want to know what your moves are going to be, or what the moves are meant to be, how to move the relationship forward otherwise. Okay. So they're coming from a broken heart, a wounded childhood. It doesn't always really matter whether it's a relationship or not, but they've been hurt deeply. And again, all I keep hearing is, then you come forward and it's like, I don't want to go through this pain. I don't want to deal with that again. And there's so much pushing, pull, and fighting within themselves because they don't want to be hurt again. And so, you know, they have to let go of some of these things in order to, some of these things, some of these blockages, some of this darkness that's within them in order to come towards you. And that is precisely what they're going to do, is they will come towards you. That decision is going to be very, very clear. And actually, I was going to say very soon, but that message is going to become very, very, very clear to them, that they need to step forward. They need to release the pain. They need to release the messages that are haunting them, that are holding on to them, that are hijacking them, because they're not true messages. I believe as a child, this person quite possibly was caught between relationships. And it was like, you know, when you have two people arguing and you're kind of like in the middle, and it's just like, instead of running away from it or doing it, they just stood there. I was almost terrified, but that was almost, so what they have learned was inaction. And so not taking action. And so that's where we go back to that think before you act. So, you know, they want to act and then they start thinking, and that's not serving them. So they need to move past that, and they will. They're going to be served up with some real honesty of what is within them, and they will provide that that relationship that you are so wanting to come together, to be one, to unify with. That's my word. Okay, so thank you very much, Pile 1. I hope I gave you a little bit insight into what's going on within your relationship. So pile number 2, my Mother Mary, with the spiritual understanding card. And so let's see what the messages that you get. I'm going to start off with this deck. So just one clear message for pile number 2 for the male side, and for the female side came out 2. Wow. Okay, so the messages that came forth were perception. So the masculine energy within this relationship is formulating or working through new perspectives. It's perhaps just seeing things. I'm actually kind of understanding that there may have been an argument, and they're needing to see a different side of this argument and understand really what was going on within themselves, and seeing what they've buried, some things, and they walked away. They tend to do that a little bit more because they need to take some time to reflect upon what's gone on. And on the female side, it's the swan. So there's this beautiful energy that just casts such light and transformation. And really, the card that comes up is the next one is the King of Swords. And I do believe that you yourself are, you've added truth to this, but that meant looking at it in a different manner as well, because your truth was what triggered their perception of the events that took place. And so with that became a new learning, a new understanding, a new growth. So we're going to do the male side first and see what their energy is, where they're at this time. So we're at, okay. The male side. They're working on coming together. They're working on, wow, sorry. So when I had these cards, these two cards came out. First of all, the Warrior of the Water, the Warrior of Wood, and the Spirit of the Divine. And so the other card that came forth was the card of Wholeness. So it's basically is you do complete this person. What you don't understand is that they show their love in a different way or a different manner in what you either are used to or what you've experienced. And they are trying to show you, but because you do complete them together, you're stronger. That's how they feel than apart. And they have an energy about them that often will push away and then come back. It's okay. This is a twin flame relationship, because what you go through is that, sorry, it's the wisdom of the horse, and Spirit just said it's a twin flame relationship. But because you're quite different from one another, and quite different isn't bad. You don't have to be exactly the same. But what it becomes is a runner-chaser relationship. And that's what is going on. And there's really not an awareness of that, because it's what it is. It's that fear, and then pull back to the love. And then that pulls this fear over, and you got to pull away. And so that's what you keep doing. Love, fear. And then you pull away, and then it just becomes this push-pull. That's what's happening within the relationship. And the card of the owl is on the other side. And what I am getting from this is that there's a lot of spirit on the other side that is rooting from on this relationship. They really are. Spirit is grateful for your progress. It's kind of a weird way of putting it, but they are proud of the progress that not just this person, but you've both made, that you've kept your integrity and your intentions, and finally realizing that you do complete one another, that you do, I'd say, belong to one another, and to make sure and to that's what this is two people together. Sorry, that's that twin flame. Should have recognized that before. I didn't, but I should have. And so Spirit is very, very much saying, follow the guidance that's being shown to you. That's important. So on your side, speak your truth. Speak your truth, speak your truth, speak your truth, speak your truth. Whew, wow. Okay. Speak your truth, very much. So the card that you're representing, the feminine side, is the Spirit of Air, which is Spirit, that would be the Queen of Swords, which is, swords is all about communication. It's about any way of communication, of being thoughtful, of being dreamy, about being visionary. It's all about communication. And as when you sit in your truth, in your imagination and in your thoughts and in your visions and all of that, when you stay close to your truth, when you're being yourself, that's the best that you can be. Now, again, this is so much a twin flame relationship, and this comes out as the warrior of water, and that's that love. And this person they've gone through a lot, they've experienced a lot, so they're in the depths of the water, yet they feel so comfortable when it comes to you. So there's so much comfort within this relationship that just is warm and soft and beautiful. It's also recognizable. They recognize that, and perhaps you recognize that from the very first time you met, but it's recognizable. On the side of the reveal side for you is the side of the keep your eye on the prize. Keep your eye on what you want. So when, because this is about thoughts as well, when you start having any kind of thoughts of feeling, down, or feeling, maybe insecure about something, have a gratitude journal or a journal of love, so to speak, so that you can remember where your focus is at and keep focus on that. So keep your thoughts, your imagination, your visions, knowing where you want to go and how you want to bring this relationship forward and carry it on. I pulled out there's a lot of lessons that have to be learned within this relationship. This is something strange, so I'm not going to go to the other side, but there's so many lessons within this relationship, and there's a lot of renewal, there's a lot of balancing that's going on. What you're getting is, you'll go through transitions, and so remember that. And that's like aligned with the moon magic, and that's a joy, it's a joyfulness during different periods of the different moons, different cycles. Just embrace your gifts and your qualities and learn more and more and more about that. And that part, a lot of that is keeping your eye on the prize, keeping your eyes on your intention, keeping your eye clear, keeping your focus clear. This is much about close clarity and staying on target. So I'm going to pick up some cards. Sorry, my camera just adjusted itself. I adjusted it. Cards from the Romance Angel deck. And so where you're at is what I just said was stay optimistic about your love life. So again, maybe go back and remind yourself reasons why you fell in love with this person, or reasons why you love this reasons why they would love you, reasons that, what you enjoy doing together, what you most love about this person. So stay optimistic and always go back to those thoughts. The challenge position becomes in, wow, is the card of new love. So this could say identify two things. It could actually really mean that there is a separation that needs to happen. But more so when I see this card, it means it's a renewal of a love. So it's a new kind of love. It means your love is going to a different level from where it was at, because some of these fears are being washed away, because your thoughts are being, optimistic, because you're dealing with issues, problems, concerns in a mature manner rather than walking away. But if there's been some sort of argument, it's just seeing a different perspective, just aligning with truth, knowing that, wow, the next card from there is engagement. So perhaps that's where you are. Perhaps that's what needs to go. And what I just really read, message I got from that this card of engagement was, it meant this person is going to engage with you. That could be there is going to be an engagement, but this is more about there's going to be connection, a reconnection, an engagement of communication where there's a new honesty, where there's, like I said, that the whole relationship needed to change, and that's why the situation appeared as it did. The final card that came out of there was to trust. So trust in what you know deep inside of yourself, that you are twin flames, and that there's lots that twin flames need to go through to understand. Okay, so the messages from the Hermit Tarot. The first card is, you hurt me. That's okay, I guess. So that just confirms what I was saying, that I do believe there might have been, you know, through an argument or through some sort of discord, there were words that were said. Oh, there were words that were said. That's the communication. There were words that were said, and they weren't said from a place of love. Not the best place. If it's from anywhere else, it's not from love. So it would have been out of fear. And so they're trying to move past that with the next card. That there needs to be this engagement, this communication, this renewal, this commitment, but it needs to almost start fresh from truth, that place. So the next card is, I am addicted to you. And I think that they have this fear, probably because of the fact that this wasn't out of love. Some, for whatever reason, you stepped outside, you or both of you. I don't, when I say you, it could mean either one, but you stepped outside of the love and you went into the fear. And in doing so, they begin to question, to doubt, to not really understand. Is this, you know, some sort of just an addiction, or is this, am I truly in love? And that's what, you know, getting these different perspectives. They're trying to understand this relationship better, trying to understand their feelings, trying to understand how to bring it together in a unified state where you can actually commit to an honest communication. The next card that comes out, oh my gosh. I don't know what this argument was about, but there were words that were spoken, and they're a little bit dark with that. And I think because they might feel that they're, after that, they almost can't step outside of it. They just feel like they have to, rather than sitting back and seeing the perspective, they're almost feeling that need that they have to, you know, reach out, but they do need to reconnect with their honesty, with their love, and align that. Because the next card is, words do hurt. Words matter. Words matter, and words do hurt. And a lesson that you both need to learn is, oh my God, is to be honest. I think this came up twice, and you need to be honest and offer that honesty to one another. I'm going to close with this card because this is a little crazy. They want you to know that you do matter very much, and you probably want them to know that they matter. And so that's why it's important to speak your truth, to find your truth, to stay optimistic, to trust, to communicate. So important to communicate in honesty, communicate in love, communicate that they matter, communicate that you matter, communicate communicate truth. So you need to go within to get to that truth. Okay, so pile 2, that was for you. And I'm going to move on to pile number 3, which is my heart and a healthy lifestyle. So I'm going to pick out these cards. So we're going to first look at the feminine side. And see where you're at. And then we'll look at the masculine side. Oh, lordy. It's funny because I can shuffle these cards as much as I want, and I can still come up with the same cards as I did in a previous pile. And, holy man. Okay, pile number 3. This may be a relationship that is rooted right now in deception, in some sort of deception. There may be 3 people involved, and it may not be involved being in that relation, in 3 people in a relationship, or you being with 2 other people. It could just mean there may be somebody on your mind that perhaps you're, thinking, because there is somewhat. So if there is a third party situation, you need to go within yourself to be imaginative, to really to be imaginative. The card of imagination came in. Sorry. So the card that reflects the feminine side is the spirit of air, and on the other side is the warrior of water and the warrior of metal. Completely different types. One person, the reason that you are attracted to each of these individuals, the first individual you're attracted to because of the way they make you feel. And I don't mean feel, it's interesting because they both make you feel different emotions. But the way the one person makes you feel is that you're special. They acknowledge your gifts. They acknowledge your talents, your skills. They just, help bring you up. They see that light within you. The other person makes you feel amorous, very much loved. In that sense, they show it in a more sexual, passionate way than the other person does, more through words. So this is your decision to make and nobody else's. And so it's time to stop. This is the way of the fox. So that's, to me, it just immediately popped up and said there is deception within this relationship and there needs to be a transformation, which is the reveal side. And you recognize that. You recognize that there needs to be a transformation, a complete and whole transformation. And so this is up to you, and there is no right or wrong, I'm going to say answer, right or wrong way. The decision is yours to make. And with that, make it from the heart, make it an honest decision, what you want. You can get a page and write out pros and cons of everything. If you were married to somebody and have kids, that could be part of this, the equation. So it's time that you actually looked at the whole of the situation and make a choice of what it is that you truly want, what it is that you truly need. And in meditation, you need to clarify what's important. What is important to you within a relationship? What is important to your needs? What is important to your values? And really go with what you're most passionate about in a loving and honest manner. Okay, so on the male side, very interesting. Only interesting because I don't like, I won't, I don't tell people what to do. That's your choice. And I've said that all the way through that. But what I can tell you is the one person, this Warrior of Metal came up again. And so that is the person that makes you feel more understanding of yourself, that makes you feel special, that makes you feel like this divine person that you actually are. It's not based in, you know, say sex. It's not based in passion, and yet it can still be passionate because they have that same spark. It's different. So that, what Spirit just said, that this person may perhaps be the person that you're in the more committed relationship with. And what's transpiring is the fact that perhaps all of a sudden from somewhere along the line, you're thinking, there just isn't the passion that I want. And so that may have brought forth what the person within a relationship that you wanted, because this person needs to change and is really resisting that change. I would say resisting it because they may not know how. They just, you know, have so much guard up against things. So, you know, the change is those feelings that they, I'm going to say, get, you know, that passionate side of the King of Cups is so different, but they can learn that. So that becomes up to you if you choose that person, to help them to understand, to show them, lead them, direct them. What do you need? Show them, teach them, be more playful. That's where this card comes in, which is the Wisdom of the Horse in a different position. So this is saying you need to be more free, or they need to learn to be more free with their love, with their emotions, with their, but it scares the shit out of them. Oops, sorry for swearing, but Spirit just that scares the shit out of them. And it's just the way it goes. It does. It scares them. And with that fear, they're just learning it. So it's slow, and they're learning to understand their power as well. Okay, so that's part of where they're at now. Yeah, see, it's the energy. Just what we talked about is understanding the energy, and how it can be transformed, and how it can be love and gratitude. And so there is an energetic relationship. This relationship is more based in the energy that surrounds you both. So you just need to go within yourself to see where this person exactly fits into your life, and whether or not you really want to stay within that relationship, whether there's more within that relationship, whether there's, wow, and because of the card of the healthy lifestyle, what you're doing isn't so healthy. So I didn't really understand as that came up, but I completely understand what it's saying right now. It's very unhealthy within this relationship. I also don't think it's much of a secret, where you think it's something is going on is a secret. It's not much of a secret. That's what I can tell you, okay? Because people can feel an energy where they people can see energy or feel energy when you think they can't. They can. Everybody can feel it. Some stronger and more than others. Okay. First card that comes up is healing family issues. So again, that's what you're needing to work through. If anything, and I'm not going to say that you need to stay with this one person. What I'm going to say is try. Try what you can do. Try to fix it. Try to heal it. I have this, I'm going to say theory, but it's no regrets. Live your life with no regrets. So at least you've tried. If you've tried and it works in your favor, hallelujah. If you try and it doesn't work in your favor, hallelujah. You've tried. All that you can do is try. I was in a relationship for a long time, and I'm telling you, I tried. I worked and I worked and I worked and I worked. And then I couldn't. I had tried, but both sides have to try. Both sides have to heal their issues together. Both sides have to put in. There's a song that I listen to that I absolutely love, and it's by Brett Young, I think his name is. No, it's not. It's by another guy. Anyways, and it says something in the song, something along the lines of, I don't want to fall in love if you don't want to try. If you're not going to put in the effort, I don't want to be there. And so for me, that's what it came to. And I chose me instead. That's what I chose. I chose me. And so, but it's about healing family issues. Work at that first and make a decision based from that space. Okay, I have to adjust the camera again. I think so. Okay, second card that comes up. Oh, wow. So this is coming to a heads, I'm going to say, very soon. So you need to start doing some thinking now. And perhaps that's why this reading has come up at this point and why you're watching this reading, because it's going to come to a heads. And so you need to start giving this some thought, some real deep and depth communication with yourself. And so you have to clearly decide what you want, so that comes to you now. Okay, you get to decide that. That's your decision. Okay, you can't make this stuff up. That's all I gotta say. So then on either side, first of all, you need to have a heart-to-heart conversation with yourself. And then you need to have a heart-to-heart conversation on both sides, because you need to make the best decision for you. Healing family issues, I believe, is the first step, but a heart-to-heart conversation beginning with yourself and spirit, and asking for the best outcome for all involved. Okay, so start communicating. If you make a choice to just turn around, walk away from it all, that's fine too. To start over fresh, that's fine too, because you will have gone through a process that renews who you are, renews your attraction. And it's almost, you'll be on your own for a while, if that's the decision that you make. And you will become far more attractive because you're honest. Honesty is attractive. That's kind of interesting, but it is. Honesty is very attractive. Okay, so now we're going to go with a Hermit Tarot messages. What has she got to say? Oh, okay, so the one side, what we were talking about is, I'm obsessed with your body. And I just had a conversation with one of my clients that I work with. And he was telling me about a relationship that he's in. And as we were talking about it, it's actually a two-way relationship. He has And he was talking about them both. And so from one of them, as he described it, and I said to him, or I challenged him, I guess I would say, do you think that that's love? Because if you think that that's what love is, then we need to have more conversations so you understand what love really is. And I could say sex is a benefit of true love, of coming together, of passion, of especially with a soulmate or a twin flame. It's just such an incredible, beautiful feeling. An obsession with somebody's body is not love. That would be an obsession, and it's not the same. But some people can choose that. And my brother always tells me this one story, and it's about this lady from work, and she comes in every day and talks about her sex life. And he says, I can't believe that anybody would do that. But he says it just blows his mind, the things that she comes up with. And he says, I'm pretty sure that's not love, but they're married. Anyways, that's her choice. That's the point of that. Okay. Oh, now on the other side, they're saying, love me, love me, love me, love me. Okay. So I actually think that maybe perhaps both of them are, but you need to define what they want as well. That's that heart-to-heart conversations. Is they may seem obsessed with you, but do they love you? And what does love mean to them? Okay. The next card. And the card is, I think we should slow down. I just think what this card is saying in this moment is, yes, you need to slow down in both relationships. You need to slow down, take a step back to understand who you are, your honesty, your truth, your love, what's important. Slow down and take a really good look at what's going on. Okay. It's almost like what we're getting is each side I believe they just want, that's part of what it is. Okay, sorry. Part of what goes on within this relationship with you is that there is an energetic bond. That energetic bond has to do with just a feeling that creates, and this isn't just with the one side. This is on both sides. So the way you make me feel, Michael Jackson, one of my favorite songs ever. If you have never heard of it, listen to it. Way You Make Me Feel is a really good one. I think it's with Britney Spears, and it's such an incredible song. Anyways, it's like they just want to be more part of you. They want part of you. So the lesson within that is you can't give part of you away. You can connect and unify and share, but you cannot give part of you away. You need to keep all of you whole and complete. That's sort of it's a fact. But when you're giving pieces of yourself away, you're leaving yourself with holes. Okay. Back to the last and final card, and it is, you are my everything. Okay, so I'm hoping this reading helped you somewhat. The main thing is to find your clarity. If nothing in here resonates, that's fine, but everything that spoke within this relationship, within this card, is the fact that you need to step back. Now, what kind of came to me also just in this last minute, and it could have been a two-sided relationships. You could also be having still thoughts of a past relationship that you were in. That could be that second side. And so if you may be in this relationship, and all of a sudden you're thinking about that, and that's sort of where it's coming from. So there can be different scenarios that really ring true with this. It could have been someone that's passed that you still think about, and maybe with that person, it was very passionate. And you may be thinking right now, God, I wish I would have that passion again. I wish I could have that, you know? And that's why you need to really take a step back and realize who you are, what you want. Speak your truth. Speak to, and I hope you all know this, that you can speak through to people that have passed on. You can speak to them at any time. First of all, just sit down, relax, call their name, and let me tell you, they'll listen, they'll come. I can't think of a situation where somebody has not come forth, and so do that. Just sit down, have a conversation, have the conversations that you really, truly need to have at this point in your life. Okay, namaste. Thank you very much. I hope this helped you somewhat, that helped maybe clarify a little bit within relationships that you're in. And if you like, again, if you like my video, then please like, subscribe, share, so I can reach as many people as possible. Have an incredible day. Much love, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.